y'all, my name's MOGIBETH if you're new here, and I am a reselling business owner. I used to say I was a full-time reseller, but really I only work 2 to 4 hours a day on reselling. Anyways, just in case you want to understand the context in which these numbers and these sales are coming from, that is it. But today we are going over what sold fast in September, and I'll also just discuss my overall stats from this past month. I am really curious, let me know in the comments down below, how were your sales in September? Were they similar to years past if you are an experienced reseller, or if you're a new reseller, did you see a bump in sales in September? Let's just dive into my stats from September. I'll throw up a graphic on the screen just to show these numbers. My total sales in September were $6,726.02. My total earnings, so this is what was deposited into my bank account, $5,095.92. My gross profit, so this is after cost of goods really, was $3,758.36. I sold 151 items, which is good. Average sales price is really good at $44.54, and then my average gross profit solid at $25.06. Most of my sales, is usually the case, came from Poshmark, $4,359. I really attribute a lot of that to Poshmark, which is an automated software that I use. It sends offers to likers for me. It sends bulk offers in my closet. So if you haven't tried that software, I would highly recommend it. You can try it for 2 weeks free, and if you use my code MOGIBETH, you'll get 20% off your first month. So really, and it's only 25 bucks a month, so really it's $20 for a month and a half to try it. I mean, 2 weeks is free. So I would really highly recommend using that if you haven't already started using automation software. It's a really justifiable investment in your business, and it generates a lot of sales for me. My total eBay sales were $2,072.03. On September 20th, I switched from above standard to top rated seller on eBay. So hopefully that carries me into higher sales on eBay in October. We'll see, I don't know. In the past, it really hasn't made a difference. I did also just today switch all my listings from 14-day returns to 30-day returns and 1-day shipping in order to get that top rated plus badge. So we'll see if that makes a difference too. My Mercari sales actually weren't horrible, $294.99. So I actually did make some Mercari sales, but you know, kind of negligible compared to the other two platforms, but still it's really easy to cross-list over to Mercari, so I just continue to do it. The thing that really I could have improved upon for sure this month was my total items listed, and I only listed 94 this month. So again, the second half of September, I really kind of fell off. I really want this number to be around at least 150, and then I really want my total sales number to be around 8,000. That's my goal, but I'm slowly climbing the mountain toward that goal. Okay, we're gonna go over everything this month that sold within 7 days or less. And in fact, I didn't have any items that sold in 7 days. It starts at 6, but most of these sales actually sold within 1 day. So I listed it the night before and it sold the next day, which is really, honestly, such a good feeling. I had 34 sales that sold really fast. And if you think about it, I only listed 100. So that's actually, that's actually pretty impressive, and I'm happy about that result. So let's just dive into it. Okay, so we're gonna start with items that sold in 6 days. The first, I love selling this brand. I need to find more of it, honestly, making concerted effort. It is Mother. This is the Mellow Drama flare jeans. I got these at Crossroads, and really something that, a big reason why I think I had so many items sell quickly this month is that I did do more sourcing at Crossroads. So I'm going to carry that strategy into October. But because of my conversion, and I've talked about this in a video, several videos, but I'll link the one up on the screen where I talk about how I take items from the bins to Crossroads and then gain credit that way. And Crossroads is a buy-sell trade store here in Portland, and it's in certain cities throughout the country. But anyway, I take that trading credit and then I buy other inventory. And so since I'm using some credit from the bins, I have kind of a conversion rate for my cost of goods, and I have a spreadsheet in which you can use the same strategy that I do. That's free. But anyway, my converted cost of goods was $16.75. I listed them for $150. I received an offer on Poshmark for $127, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit of $84.85, which is really great. And they sold, like I said, in 6 days. The other thing that sold in 6 days was an eBay sale. I really don't understand this sale, but I picked it up at the bins just on my way out. I saw this new Attack Filson's oil wax finish. The reason I don't understand this sale is that this product is literally on Filson's website for cheaper, so I don't know why. I priced it based off comps, so I don't know. I don't know why it sold for what it did, but it sold for, I had it listed for $15, it sold full price for $15 plus shipping. So it cost the buyer at least 20 bucks, but it gave me a gross profit of $10.11. Nothing, you know, to write home about, but for a really fast listing on an item I spent $1.20 on, it really was fine with me. It sold quickly in 6 days. So it's just an interesting sale. Filson's is a really good brand to know if you don't know it for their clothing. I actually am getting ready to photograph a Filson's hunting vest that I got at Goodwill recently, and those comps are around $100. So, and the only other time I sold Filson's was when I found it at the bins, and it sold for over $100 in like 1 day. So if you don't know Filson's, I don't know if it's a hunting brand or just an outdoor brand. Definitely want to know. I think it's also called CC Filson's. It's made in Washington, I believe. Okay, moving on to items that sold. Oh no, I just have one item that sold in 5 days, and it's this Abercrombie & Fitch smocked gingham maxi dress. On Mercari, I sold this. This was sold in a bundle on Mercari, which I don't think ever done before, maybe very rarely. But I also featured this dress on an Instagram reel. I'm kind of more active on Instagram now. If you want to follow me over there, it's MOGIBETH, same name. And I thrifted this at Goodwill for $7.99. I had it listed for $75, and it sold in the bundle for $48.78, which gave me a gross profit of $37.58 and sold within 5 days. So Abercrombie is, some pieces within Abercrombie just fly off the shelf. If you find certain jeans do really well, and then certain pieces just perform really well. So if you find a piece in the thrift store that by Abercrombie that you think is really cute and a more substantial piece, I recommend just checking comps. That's what I do. Not everything does well, and I do leave Abercrombie behind after checking comps sometimes, but every once in a while it does really, really well. Actually, I think it's going to show up again. Yeah, it's going to show up again on this list. I found 2 Abercrombie dresses in that same thrift trip. Okay, this I just recently listed. We're moving on to sales. We're moving on to items that sold in 4 days or less. Gudrun Shoden. I kind of priced this to sell, which is why I think it sold so fast. But this is a brand that I will pick up, understanding that I'm probably not going to be able to find stock photos or a style name. It's one of those exceptions I make, which does kind of just make it easier to list in some ways because I just don't even spend time looking for those things. But I picked this up. It's a white tunic top. It's a size medium. I always put login look in the title and or description, but I got this at Goodwill for $7.99. I had it listed for $38, and I received an offer, or no, someone accepted my offer of $26.59 plus shipping over on eBay, which gave me a gross profit of $14.32. Sold within 4 days. I really like selling Gudrun Shoden. And you know, not everything sells super fast, but I think at that price point, 38, it typically can sell pretty fast. Okay, this is something that was sitting in my laundry room for the longest time. I had a tiny little stain on it. I got it out in like 5 seconds. So it's too bad I waited so long to list this, but I finally did list it, and it finally sold quickly. It is this Patagonia R1 pullover. Apparently this is a good thing to look for. If it has a R, I mistakenly thought it was like a logo, a business logo, but it wasn't. It's an R that has like a little outline around it. Then it's a good line within Patagonia. I learned that from the comment section from y'all on one of my YouTube bins hauls. But I got this at the bins for $1.20. I listed for $80 and received an offer over on eBay for $50. Or no, on Poshmark, sorry. which I just went ahead and accepted. Maybe I could have made more, but I'm happy to accept that offer. And that gave me a gross profit of $38.80. Great, 4 days, happy about it. I mentioned this in the style name video too. This is an eBay sale that sold within 4 days. It's a Free People Movement lightweight rain jacket or windbreaker. I couldn't find the style name for this, but it did sell quickly. I got it at Crossroads with my converted cost of goods being $7.18, and it sold for $40 plus shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $27.53. I really like selling Free People Movement, so I'm just gonna kind of keep picking it up without checking comps as long as the cost of goods is reasonable, and then more substantial pieces, of course. But like, I like selling jumpsuits, I like selling outerwear. It comes up, or actually it might not come up again, but you know, bigger oversized pieces too that seem on trend, I like picking up. So I really like picking up that and Free People Beach. Free People Beach, of course, is probably going to sell a little bit slower now that we're entering fall, but those two lines within Free People I really like. Okay, this is a brand I have started picking up more recently, and this was actually in, I think, another Instagram reel, American Giant. And this was a pair of jogger pants that I got at Goodwill for $7.99. They sold on eBay. I had them listed for $40, and they sold for $30 plus shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $17.37, and again, sold in 4 days. A bread and butter brand that I love selling, but I am more particular with. This is a really good example of what I like to pick up. Actually, I think this was in the same Instagram reel. was this pair of Spanx flare jeans in a size large. When I was at Goodwill, I came across a lot of Spanx leggings that I passed on. I don't pick up the Moto leggings anymore. Any kind of color or print I'll pass on, and I really don't like, I will not pick up small, extra small, and I'm particular with medium, but large, extra large, plus size Spanx I really like selling, especially in certain styles such as this one. So I paid $9.99 for these at Goodwill. I listed them for $65, and they sold on Poshmark. I think it was a Posher VA offer to liker for $45, which gave me a gross profit of about 26 bucks, and they sold in 4 days. And then my last item that sold in 4 days, this is a brand that I sold for the first time this month, and I actually just picked up a dress I'm excited to get listed. That was in recent Thrift With Me. I'll link that up on the screen. Young Maven. I really was excited with the results of how this item performed. This was a striped t-shirt that was cotton and hemp blend. When I found this brand, I was like, this is good quality, and when I looked it up, it did appear to perform well. But Young Maven, J-U-N-G Maven, all one word. Picked this up at Goodwill for $7.99. I listed this t-shirt for $45, and it sold for $32 plus shipping. So it gave me a gross profit of $19.47, and it sold in 4 days. So I'm excited to list the one I found and hopefully find it more often. Okay, and then I had a couple of items that sold in 3 days. First, another Bolo brand. I actually paid up for these at Crossroads, and there was another one there that I think I'm gonna go back and get. But Imogene and Willie. This is an expensive, mainly denim wear, but now I think they sell other things. Mainly denim brand. I think it's based out of Tennessee, and their jeans retail for a lot, and they maintain their resale value. You have to definitely get more recent style Imogene and Willie jeans if you want them to sell quickly, but case in point with this one, I think they are performing well still, and it makes me excited and bullish about this brand. So this was an Imogene and Willie Sophie jeans, size 27. I paid, with my converted cost goods, $19.44. However, I listed them for $100, and they sold for $75 plus shipping on eBay within 3 days, which gave me a gross profit of $46.34. So worth paying up for, selling super fast. Okay, this was an interesting sale and a really exciting one because I found these at the bins, and I don't sell cowboy boots. I showed this to y'all in a Goodwill bins haul. But these perform so well that now I'm really, I mean, we don't come across as many cowboy boots here in Portland as probably some of y'all in like the South and so forth, but I really am starting to look up more cowboy boots that I come across in Goodwill. This was a pair of Lane, the brand is just Lane, L-A-N-E, cowboy boots. They're really pretty, distressed black leather with lace detailing and embroidery detailing on the upper. So I got these at Goodwill bins for $1.20, which was great. I listed them for $125 and I accepted an offer for $70. Maybe I could have got more, but I was just really happy to accept an offer when I literally paid $1 for them for $70. And that gave me a gross profit of $54.80, and they sold in 3 days. So very, very happy. Okay, now let's move on to what sold in 2 days. There's so many sales on this list, so I gotta keep a move on. This was in a thrift with me. This is a Nuitag packed wrap sweater. I think I even mentioned this in a recent ship with me video. I got this at Goodwill for $9.99. Packed is one of my favorite bread and butter brands to sell right now, and the fact that this was Nuitag and it was extra large made it a home run in my book. I had it listed for $48 and then it sold for $33, which gave me a gross profit of $14.39, which isn't a ton, but since it sold in 2 days and again it's more of a bread and butter piece, $9.99 is on the higher end. I would pay for that, but still really happy with the performance. And then in the same thrift haul I found these Goldwyn pants, and this is a Bolo brand. This is my first time selling this brand, but it performed really well. I got these for $12.99. I listed them for $100 and I sold them for $67.50 plus shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $45.50. And again, they sold in 2 days. So Goldwyn, all one word, Goldwyn. If you come across that brand, check comps, but it's probably worth picking up. Really, really happy with the performance of that. In the same thrift with me, found this Nuitag Michael Stars Theo jumpsuit. Purchased it for $9.99, listed it for $65, and it sold for $38. I think I received an offer for $38, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit of $20.41, which is perfect, and it sold in 2 days. And then I had a Mercari sale, my second Mercari sale on this list, my last Mercari sale on this list, that sold really fast. And this is something that I'm really bullish about. It is Anthropologie plus size pieces. And this was a newer one and newer style, I think, and it was Nuitag. Nuitag A+ Anthropologie Mauve tie puff sleeve blouse. I got it at Crossroads with my converted cost of goods at $8.37. Had it listed for $65 and I received an offer on Mercari for $50, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit of $35.23, and it sold after only 2 days. Like I mentioned, I sold another Abercrombie maxi dress that I found right next to that gingham one, and this one performed even better than that one because it sold in 2 days on Poshmark. Really beautiful green crinkled fabric. Got it for $7.99, which is great. And I think it sold to a Poshmark automated offer to Liker for $45 after I listed it for $65, which gave me a gross profit of $25.99, and it sold in 2 days. Oh, this was my first time picking up this brand, and so I'm going to keep picking it up. This is a brand sold at Tuckernuck, which Tuckernuck I like to think of as the Revolve of the South. It's a really good place to just browse and learn brands from, because brands sold at Tuckernuck, and if you include Tuckernuck in the title and description, it just sells really fast. So, but anyways, this is Dudley Stevens, which is a brand sold at Tuckernuck, and this was a pullover, like a fleece pullover in a size medium that I picked up at Goodwill for $7.99. I had it listed for $50, and oh, I'm sorry, it sold on eBay. Did I say it sold on Poshmark? It sold on eBay for $40 plus shipping, which is great, and it gave me a gross profit of $27.18, and it sold in 2 days. I also sold this Tuckernuck. So Tuckernuck also has an in-house brand just called Tuckernuck, which is good to know and pick up when you come across on eBay. And this was a wool blend flannel blouse. The style name is the Faye blouse, which is I think a staple style within their brand that does well. And then this was like a wool flannel variation of it. So I listed it for $58 and it sold for $45 plus shipping, which is really great. And it gave me a gross profit of $24.18, and it sold in 2 days. So both of those Tuckernuck sales were great. I am constantly on the lookout for Tuckernuck brands, either the in-house brand or brands sold at Tuckernuck. So really, really happy with that. And that's, if you want to do some research, a good place to do some research. DN 1920 is a brand that is produced here in Portland, so I come across it probably more than people outside of Portland are going to come across it, but this is my second time selling it. They specialize, I think, in wool hats. At least that's the only thing I've found by them. And I found it again at the bins for $1.86. This was featured in a video too. It did have a flaw, so I listed it on the lower side for $38, and it sold for $25 on Poshmark, which gave me a gross profit of $18.14, and it sold in 2 days. And then my last item that sold in 2 days. This was kind of something that I purchased on a whim at the bins because I just thought this was a more substantial piece and a good size. It's Splendid, which is a brand I almost never pick up. And it was a thermal knit cardigan. I got it for $2.06. I just listed it for $20, and then it sold, or I listed it for $28, sorry, and then it sold for 30% off, $19.59 plus shipping in 2 days. So I made a profit of $14.04, which isn't like spectacular, but I'm very happy with the performance of a Splendid piece. Yeah, sold in 2 days. Michael Stars and Splendid, two brands that I really don't pick up unless like certain factors line up, like size, style, color. Black is a really good color to sell, although I hate picking up black items from the bins generally. Certain pieces by those brands can perform well, but 99% of what you're going to come across is not worth selling. Okay, now items that I listed one day and then sold the next. Love when this happens. It's my favorite thing as a reseller. When it does happen, it's definitely a really good motivating factor to keep on listing. Okay, so we actually have quite a few items that I listed one day and sold the next. So we're gonna speed through these. First, this Madewell ruffle neck sweater. This was also sitting in my laundry room. I don't know why. I think it's because I took it home to keep it, but then decided to sell it instead. This I got at the bins for $1.27. I listed it for $30, and it sold to a Posher VA automated offer to Liker for 30% off, $21 plus discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $13.51, and it sold in 1 day. Obviously, Madewell sweaters, some are going to sell well and quickly, like this one for, you know, 20 bucks, but not all of them. So larger sizes do better, more recent styles do better. So just, you know, use your best judgment. This, however, my next sale is again an a Anthropologie plus size sale, which just tends to do really, really well. This was New Tag Anthropologie Pilcrow, the Tavi button down. I got this at Crossroads with a converted cost of goods of $9.72. I listed it for $65. It sold for $45.49 plus shipping, 30% off plus shipping the next day after listing, which gave me a gross profit of $31.08. Super bullish about Anthropologie plus size right now, and I will continue to keep my eyes out for it. Next, I found this at the bins. It was an Eileen Fisher 100% merino wool sweater dress. I love selling 100% wool pieces by Eileen Fisher, especially if they are size large or up. I got this for $1.86. I listed it for $85, and it sold, I think, to a Posher VA automated offer to Liker for $59 plus discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $45.34, which is fantastic. It sold in 1 day. This was also another plus size Anthropologie sale. Daily Practice by Anthropologie. I also got this at Crossroads. It was a size 3X. I wasn't new at Tag, but that's fine. It didn't seem to hinder its performance. Got it for a converted cost of goods of $8.37. Listed for $60, sold for $39, which gave me a gross profit of $22.83, and it sold the day after I listed it. 1 day. And then I sold both. Okay, so I found 2 pairs of Duluth Trading Company overalls at Goodwill. I paid up for both of them, $14.99, but I was just like, you know, these are so cute. I'm just gonna go ahead and get them, and they sold so fast in a bundle. Someone wanted both of them, which is really lucky and great. So I actually listed one slightly higher than the other. I listed one for $50 and one for $45, and so they sold in a bundle. The one I listed for $50, the mustard yellow one, ended up selling for $42.11, which gave me a gross profit of $18.69. And then the one in the blue-green I listed for $45, so it sold for $37.89, which gave me a gross profit of $15.33. But Duluth Trading Company is, again, a brand that you have to use your best judgment on. You have to kind of go off of how recent the piece is, on style, and you have to really factor in cost of goods because it's a brand that doesn't retail for a ton of money, but some pieces can resell really well. So I'm glad I trusted my gut on that one, and it did pay off. Okay, I actually had a few pieces sell in a bundle on Poshmark this month. So, and it sold to a viewer. So thank you so much to everyone who ever purchases from my closet or from my business. I really, really do appreciate it. This was one of those pieces. It was a vintage suede leather sweater jacket that I got at the bins for $1.86. I listed it for $55 and it sold within the bundle for $33, which gave me a gross profit of $23.04. I think this pair of jeans also sold in that bundle. This is a really good bolo brand to know, R13. I'm so excited when I found these. I picked these up at Goodwill for $14.99. I listed them for $150 and they sold within the bundle for $90, which gave me a gross profit of $55.51, which makes me so happy. So the next sale was a pair of Levi's jeans. I really stopped picking up Levi's, but this was a pair that had a really good wash, was new at tag, and was a good size. It was a size 30. So I decided to go ahead and try it out again, and it actually performed really well. So followed my gut. My gut was right. And I might try to pick up Levi's more often, especially if it's new at tag and priced decently, but our Goodwills typically price new at tag Levi's really, really high, like $20 plus. But this one was priced at $12.99, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up, and I'm glad I did. I listed at $68. I think it sold to a Poshmark VA automated offer to Liker for $47, which gave me a gross profit of $22.59, which is great. And then Built, B-Y-L-T, this brand can sell really well, but not all pieces do, but I will definitely continue to pick it up at the bins. This was a Oxford short sleeve button down shirt that I got at the bins for $2.06. I listed it for $40. It sold in a bundle for $24.44. So maybe I could have made a little more for it, but that's fine. And it gave me a gross profit of $17.50, which is great. So BYLT, good brand, good bread and butter brand to know. Another good bread and butter brand to keep an eye out is Garnet Hill cashmere pieces. I do like selling Garnet Hill, but I am very particular with what I pick up by Garnet Hill. But this was a cashmere sweater that I got at the bins for $2.06 again, and I listed it for $60 and it sold to a Poshmark VA automated offer for $42 plus discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $29.52. Sold in one day. Love when that happens. And then this is a really good bolo brand to know, Todd Snyder. This was also featured in that Instagram reel, and got this pair of selvage jeans. It actually had a couple flaws. It had like a couple spots of fading, like on the back pocket and so forth. But I got these for $14.99, but because of the flaws, I listed it a little bit lower for $60, but I think because I listed it lower, someone doesn't mind a little bit of fading. It sold really fast for $41.99, so 30% off again, plus shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $19.54. But yeah, if those were in excellent pre-owned condition, I would have listed it closer probably to $100, but I'm really, really happy with that result. And then a brand that sells so fast, and in fact I have a pair of pants, I have a couple pieces by this brand sitting in my laundry room I need to get stain treated and listed. Arc'teryx, probably the fastest brand, you know, I think right now. One of the fastest selling brands. This was something that I got at Crossroads. It was a siphon pullover jacket, and I got it for my converted cost of goods of $9.30. Listed it for $100, and it sold on Poshmark to an automated offer to Liker for $70. I maybe could have sold it for more, you know, but I'm happy that it sold like this. And I made a gross profit of $44.68 in one day. And then I sold one thing that sold the same day I listed it. And it was also something I got at Crossroads. It was this Lululemon Cash Loose sweater, cashmere blend sweater, that I got for my converted cost of goods of $8.37. I listed it for $68 and it sold, I think, to a Poshmark VA automated offer to Liker for $42, which gave me a gross profit of $25.23. Sold same day. So that's what sold fast this month. I think some really good brands that I've never sold before, some really good bread and butter brands that I love selling, and then some categories within brands I've sold for a long time, like Anthropologie and Spanx, that I want to continue to pick up. But I think that was a really good review for me, and I hope it was informative to you. But I'm curious if you want to go ahead in the comments down below and let me know what's sold fast for you in September. I think that's really helpful, and oftentimes in these videos the comments section can be just as informative, if not more so, to everyone, and I love reading comments. So thank y'all to those of y'all who do contribute that way. I think it is really helpful, and hopefully as resellers we can continue to share information and continue to grow our businesses together. So anyways, I've got to go. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, love y'all. Bye!